Well, folks, the investigation in the state of Arkansas by a group of state auditors into the $19,000 lectern that freshly minted Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders bought last year has officially come to a close. And the auditors concluded, after their exhaustive investigation, that this whole thing actually needs to be investigated by prosecutors, so they have now sent Lectern Gate to career prosecutors in Little Rock, Arkansas, to criminally investigate Sarah Huckabee Sanders and her administration. This is massive. Now, here is something people may not fully understand about this story. And for those of you not familiar with it at all, Sarah Huckabee Sanders was sworn in at the beginning of last year, 2023. She immediately goes out and buys a $19,000 custom lectern to travel with her all over the state. Now, at the time, everybody in the state was like, well, hold up, that's way too expensive. Something doesn't smell right here. And they were right about that, and that is what the auditors found. It is believed, although this will be determined after the criminal investigation, that the lectern was not actually $19,000, but that Huckabee Sanders administration may have cooked the books to make it seem like they spent $19,000 on this, but in reality, they may have spent the money on unauthorized travel. But that's another thing that Sarah Huckabee Sanders immediately did upon becoming governor, is she shielded her travel records from the state. So when you add all of that up together, yeah, certainly smells like something is rotten in Little Rock, Arkansas. But here is what the report found, compiled, of course, by Ron Filipkowski over at Midas Touch. Number one, the podium was paid for before it was delivered. It was applied to operating expenses, which does not include equipment purchases. The state agency that monitors government purchases was never notified. The bill of lading was shredded by the governor's office, and there were 3 different invoices that all appeared to conflict with each other. And of course, the amount paid for the lectern was more than double the estimate that the company that made it originally gave Sarah Huckabee Sanders. So how in the hell did you end up paying double what the estimate was for this lectern? And to make things even that much more suspicious, Sarah Huckabee Sanders and her entire administration refused to sit for conversations with the auditors, as did the company that produced the lectern. And I'm willing to bet that that fact alone is why this was referred for a criminal investigation. Now, it's important to remember, it has been referred for a criminal investigation, not criminal charges. You know, there is a world of difference between the two. The prosecutors will now have to investigate it, if they even choose to do that, because they could just say, no, we're not going to look into it, it's over with. But if they choose to look into it and then decide to bring criminal charges, they would have to impanel a grand jury prior to that. So we won't get a resolution to this if they're going to actually investigate it, possibly for at least a year down the road, maybe even longer. So this is not over, but it stinks to high heaven. And again, this all happened in Sarah Huckabee Sanders' first few months in office. Nothing about this smells right, and hopefully those prosecutors in Little Rock will in fact look into this, because this could be just the tip of the iceberg. Ring of Fire founder and host of America's Lawyer, Mike Papantonio, has a new book called Suspicious Activity. Like his other books before it, this book actually deals with real legal cases that Mike Papantonio has handled, but in a fictionalized way. The book follows the character of Nick Dichotomous that Papantonio first introduced in his book Law and Disorder, and it carries on the story that began in Law and Disorder through Law and Vengeance, Law and Addiction, Inhuman Trafficking, and now Suspicious Activity. This book in particular deals with the financial institutions that have helped launder money for terrorist organizations, which of course is a topic we have covered extensively here on Ring of Fire. So, If you're a follower of Mike Papantonio's books, or if this is your first one, you can get your copy of Suspicious Activity now. Just go to mikepapantonio.com and place your order. And if you haven't already, check out Mike's other books, also available on mikepapantonio.com.